diabetes, has anyone ever used it against you? I did not realize my diagnosis could be weaponized until the day someone smiled while doing it. I was diagnosed with type 1 when I was 14, old enough to understand what it meant, young enough to feel like it had quietly rewritten my future without asking. I learned carb counts, injection sites, how to recognize when my hands started shaking for reasons that had nothing to do with nerves. I also learned very quickly who took it seriously and who did not. Most people fell into one of two groups: the overprotective ones who hovered and panicked if I looked tired, and the dismissive ones who said things like, "At least it's not the bad kind," like that sentence meant anything. I thought that was as bad as it would get. I was wrong. It happened my first year at a new job. Nothing fancy. Office work, deadlines, shared lunches in the break room. I kept my supplies in a small pouch in my bag. I did my checks quietly. I did not make it anyone's problem. My manager knew, HR knew, that was it. At least I thought that was it. There was a woman on my team named Carla who liked control. The subtle kind. She never raised her voice. She just kept notes. Mental ones about who was late, who left early, who asked for accommodations. The first time she used my diabetes against me, it was almost invisible. I had asked to step out of a meeting for 5 minutes because my blood sugar was dropping fast. I said it calmly. I did not make a scene. She smiled and said, "Again?" That word landed harder than it should have. Later that day, she pulled me aside and said she was concerned about my reliability. She said clients might notice if I needed frequent breaks. She asked if my condition was under control. I explained carefully, politely. I told her this was part of managing it responsibly. She nodded, like she understood. She did not. Over the next few months, patterns started to form. Meetings scheduled through lunch with no warning. Tasks assigned right before deadlines. Comments made in front of others like, "Hopefully your blood sugar cooperates today." People laughed, nervous laughs, the kind that tell you they know something is wrong but do not want to be next. The worst moment came during my performance review. She slid a paper across the table and pointed to a line that said, "Inconsistent availability." Then she said it. "I just worry," she told me, still smiling, "that your condition makes you unpredictable." Unpredictable. Like I was a liability waiting to happen. I asked her directly if she was penalizing me for having diabetes. She did not say yes. She did not say no. She said, "I'm just being realistic." That was when it clicked. She was not worried about my health. She was using it. Using it to justify control, to deny opportunities, to make me feel smaller for something I already fought every single day. The breaking point came one afternoon when my blood sugar dropped so suddenly my vision blurred. I told her I needed to sit down and treat it immediately. She sighed. "Can it wait until after this call?" she asked. That was the moment fear turned into anger. I treated it anyway, because I like being alive. I documented everything that night. Emails, dates, witnesses, comments I had brushed off before but suddenly saw clearly. When HR got involved, the tone changed fast. Policies appeared. Apologies followed. Carla stopped smiling at me. She avoided me completely after that. I wish I could say that was the end of it. But the truth is, once you learn someone can use your body as leverage, you never forget the feeling. Having diabetes already means living with constant calculations, numbers, risks, what ifs. What no one warns you about is the people who see your condition not as something you manage, but as something they can exploit. I am still diabetic. That never changed. What did change is this. I no longer explain myself to people who do not need to understand. I no longer apologize for taking care of my body, and I no longer ignore the moment when concern turns into control. Because the scariest part was not that someone used my diabetes against me. It was realizing how easily they thought they could get away with it.